On the line. Good morning, James.
Good morning. Pleasure to be with you.
James, if Israel and the United Arab Emirates have their way, 2026 promises to be a year of further fracturing of the greater Middle East.
Indeed, the Israeli recognition of the breakaway Republic of Somaliland and Emirati involvement in Somaliland fit a pattern. The two countries' regional strategies mutually reinforce one another. Israel's strategy is to balkanize, if not break up states, while the UAE's approach is to capitalize on opportunities failed states offer, much as Iran did with its support for militant non-state actors in Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen, and the toppled regime of former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Like with its investment in Somaliland, the UAE supports separatist or rebel forces in Libya, Sudan, and Yemen. The Saudi airstrike on the port of Mukalla laid down a marker, forcing the UAE to withdraw its forces from Yemen, and the UAE-backed separatist Southern Transitional Council, which controls the ports of Mukalla and Aden, to withdraw from the oil-producing provinces of Hadramaut and Al-Mahra, which it invaded last month. This is unlikely to end the Saudi-UAE dispute. The UAE is unlikely to abandon its ambitions in Yemen or its destabilizing regional strategy.
Different regional approaches are not the only strategy that divides Saudi and UAE and Qatar for that matter.
The Israeli and Emirati strategies put the two countries at odds with Saudi Arabia, which supports the internationally recognized governments of failed states like Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen, despite their loss of legitimacy and inability to stabilize their nations and opposes secessionist forces. The UAE-Saudi rivalry plays out not only in conflict-riddled Middle Eastern countries, but also in fragile states like Pakistan, where the Emirates has outsmarted Saudi Arabia, notwithstanding the kingdom's defense treaty with the South Asian nuclear power, and China, with investments that give the Gulf state control of critical Pakistani infrastructure. The UAE is too much invested in its strategy to simply walk away from it, while Israel has no reason to halt its attempts to destabilize Syria and other Middle Eastern states. As a result, this is round one in a dispute that is likely to fester.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu walked away from this week's talks in Florida with US President Donald Trump with a mixed bag.
Netanyahu's visit may have been a resounding success personally and politically for the Prime Minister, but the diplomatic gains for Israel are much less clear. Netanyahu didn't get everything he wanted from Trump. He didn't get a commitment from the president that the United States would not start reconstruction of the devastated Gaza Strip before Hamas has disarmed completely. Nor did Netanyahu get assurances that Turkey, a rival to Israel for influence in the Middle East, would not join the international security force planned for Gaza. Trump emphasized that Hamas had a very short period of time to disarm, and that it did not. And if it did not, there will be hell to pay. But he did not make this a condition of proceeding to the next phase of his Gaza peace plan. And in private, American officials say they are planning to roll out the reconstruction project within weeks, while acknowledging that the disarmament of Hamas will take much longer.
Yes, certainly. And then the final issue that we pick up on, in terms of protests in Iran. So what's the latest on that particular front? Does it appear that, it may mushroom into an existential threat to the Iranian regime?
There is no doubt that Iranians are unhappy. They are unhappy with economic hardship they suffer as a result of government policies and mismanagement of the economy. To be sure, with 50% inflation and the skyrocketing of cost of living economic conditions, are dire. The local currency has dropped by 70% in the last year. In response, the government, instead of brutally cracking down on protesters, as it has done in the past, has called for dialogue. Even so, it remains to be seen whether the protests spiral into something that will pose an existential threat to the regime. Iran has witnessed mass protests in the past. Many Iranians are wary of provoking another crackdown. Some also fear that the United States and Israel could exploit the situation. That may be one reason why the government has this time round opted to engage with the protesters. Another is the fact that the protests started in the bazaar. Bazaris have historically played a key role in paradigm-shifting events, including the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
James, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Listeners can subscribe to James' newsletter blog, The Turbulent World of Middle East Soccer. You can check some of James Dorsey's articles on the website, jamesdorsey.subtract.com.
Take care of your Mercedes-Benz with exclusive offers from Mercedes.